All right, we're heading into the second game here. Trapt versus Marisa. Marisa up 1-0 right now over Trapt. This is the round of 8 for the Something Awful StarCraft-2 Challenge, Revenge of the Goons. So thanks everybody for tuning in either on live or on the VODs. Pretty good little tournament put together by the Something Awful crew. Pretty awesome website too, so please check them out. They're somethingawful.com, just somethingawful.com. Trapt is our random player, this time randoming into into Terran, of course, spawning in the southern position here on Xel'Naga Caverns, in the northern position. Our current 1-0 champion, or best of 3, is Marisa, spawning as the purple Protoss. So Trapt did get Zerg in last game, getting Terran in this game, so very interesting to see. We'll see if he can hold on to it too, as it's pretty challenging actually to play random. As you get into the mid-late game, it becomes increasingly more difficult as you're not as familiar with all the intricacies of late game, when to expand, the timings change, all of that good stuff. So hopefully Trapt can make something happen here, as he is going to open supply depot. Pretty standard. Early scout from Marisa. Interesting, he wants to know what race Trapt got, as he is playing random, so very important to know that before you throwing down too much stuff. Want to make sure that you're not being like 6 pooled or anything like that, which is possible here for the random players out there, which really sucks. So Marisa gonna get that scout, get onto the high ground, see that he is Terran, with nothing out of the ordinary, missing a Rax, but it's still too early to have a Rax. So there that goes. Trapt's gonna get that Rax down on 12, missing possibly an SCV, getting a little bit of harassment actually on the SCVs. I always hate when that happens to me. Marisa gonna scout around now. Gateway on the high ground for Marisa, getting his gas. Pretty standard. Again, this is the Something Awful StarCraft-2 Challenge, Revenge of the Goons, put on by somethingawful.com. This is iced from L2SC TV, L2SC.tv, and L2SC.net. So guys, please check out L2SC.tv. Subscribe to our Twitter, our YouTube on there. We'll give you a shout out if you subscribe today, and then if in the future you'll get a look at all of our VODs and more VODs that come out. So we do something every week, trying to get something out every week at least. So pretty good little matchups here. As yeah, this is probably the second game of the round of 8 that we're covering. I don't know if we're gonna get any other ones. We're probably going into the semis right after this, I would guess. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Marisa up 1-0 in this best of 3. The semis will be a best of 3, and then the finals will be a best of 5. So pretty standard layout, as Trapt is getting that Rax down. No more Marines, no tech lab or anything. I think he's waiting until he clears out the scout probe here. Will get that probe as he cuts across. Nope, gets blocked by an SCV. Whoops. Little bit of shields being regenerated there. 2 shots to kill the probe now. It will go down, so we'll see if he reveals his tech now, as Mule gets dropped in the backside. Sometimes misclicking sucks as well. Second Rax going down. No add-ons, though, for Trapt just yet, so he's accumulating a little bit of gas. Second gateway for Marisa, and he has the Cyber Core. Trapt does see that going up. Chrono Boost going down on the Warp Gate Research. Pretty standard, and 2 gas for Marisa. Did Trapt see that? He didn't catch the second gas. Pretty important there if that SCV is unchallenged. If he goes with a Stalker first, to make sure you see if he has 2 gas or not. That'll let you know how many sentries and whatnot you can expect early on there. 3 Racks for Trapt, so looking like he's going to do a 1 base, 3 Racks. Be a little bit more aggressive, but he is well behind in workers, actually, it seems like. 18, 19, that's about right. So not too far behind, just very thin resources right now, as the second scouting SCV comes back. 2 Stalkers out right now. Marisa is going to take map control of the towers. Not really anything out to challenge that from Trapt just yet. Some Marauders coming out. They are incredibly effective versus Stalkers. No sentries out just yet for Marisa. 3rd gate going down for Marisa. Probably expect an expansion shortly after this. 3-gate expand is pretty famous for Protoss on this map, as it's pretty easy to defend that natural with your force fieldies. Marisa is going to push onto the high ground here, doing a good job of microing the Stalkers, trying to take as minimal damage as he can. Contested shells are done, so he rolls 2 Stalkers for 2 Marines. Not a very good trade there, as the 3rd Stalker is forced to pull back. No sentries out. No follow-up, though, either from Trapt coming down. Forge for Marisa coming down, so early upgrades and some cannons, undoubtedly, as 3 Warp Gates are being produced. Still no expansion. You actually need to get that Nexus before the expansion. 2 sentries out for Marisa and a Stalker, so will help him defend any sort of early Terran aggression. And yeah, pretty standard right now. Stimpaks coming down, no combat shield started just yet. Marines coming out from the reactor there. Trapt still playing pretty standard, no factory or anything just yet, so pretty straight up for him right now. There's the Nexus for Marisa, so quite a bit ahead in terms of expansions than their Protoss, than the Terran. Looks like Terran's going to probably try to one-base this, trying to push in with these units. If he can snipe that Nexus in possibly a sentry or two, he'll be in a very good position. Will be very difficult, though, because obviously sentries will just force field the ramp. So he'll want to set up a bit of a contain as he does, yes, start his command centers. So very important to try to set up a contain there. Just let you get ahead. Basically, yeah, just try to let you get ahead there. Trapt just setting up outside. And he is going to meet Marisa. Marisa is not in a good position to get back up the ramp, so this Nexus will most likely be cancelled. I don't think he's going to have enough to challenge it. Yeah, he is going to cancel. He should need to cut up from the ramp there, trying to cut that off. That would be very, very good. As it looks like a scan does go up on the high ground, trying to see what's up there. 4 sentries means he isn't going to be able to get too aggressive. Loses the sight on the pylon, so won't be able to finish it off. But does deny the Nexus, and that's very, very important here, because he does need to make sure that he has that economic lead, and that's super critical. Marisa is going to retry the Nexus here. No stim was used here, so very, very cognizant of that. Might want to let that Nexus finish next time. Robotics has finished here for Marisa. +1 armor started before the weapon, so trying to counter those bio units, those really kind of fast shooting Marines with low damage. With the armor, very, very good. With Guardian Shield as well and the armor, you almost mitigate half the Marine fire, so pretty good opening. Using the Zealots too is very awesome in that position. So looks like Trapt is going to set up the bunker there on the low ground, so he is going to get his expansion rolling here pretty shortly. Void Prism, or Warp Prism, sorry, Void Prism. Warp Prism coming out, interesting. Don't see this too much, as a Robotics Bay is still just in production. Gonna pick up anything and go, or it's just gonna try to warp in at the top here. Very good supply depot. Actually, you can see the Warp Prism was rallied right into the back here. The supply depots are in a great position to spot, so he won't be able to get too much, and the army is nearby. So Nexus will finish, actually, unchallenged by Trapt. I don't like that too much. I think Trapt should have kept pressure on the protest there, at least contained. Letting him get the Nexus up is never a good thing. He hasn't added on more units. Forced the Protoss to build units instead of Nexuses, and you're in a good way, but he didn't do that in this case, so Marisa's going to start getting his mining down about the same time that Trapt gets saturated. Worker counts in the favor of the Protoss. Marisa, actually, 35 to 26, so 9 worker lead. Warp Prism gets in there, was not spotted by Trapt, so these 3 Zealots are going to go unchallenged as they get in. And they can start to go to work on the SCV line. And wow, they get a handful of SCVs, not bad, and they're even going to get out of there. Very nice, very well played by Marisa there. So he gets a few SCVs and just pulls right away with no other damage. You can see the Observer is spotting the front, does see that Trapt has his base down, and with not really much defense other than that bunker. Not much defense in Marisa's side either. He's very thin army-wise. +1 weapons coming, so it's going to be 1-1 actually for the Protoss versus the 1-0 for the Terran. The attack is just finished for the Terran. Going to leave those Zealots to die, unfortunately. Marauders, not really good versus Zealots, so they're going to do pretty good damage before they go. You can see where the armor kicks in here. 2 armor versus the Marauders. Marauders only doing 11, so they're only doing 9 damage per shot to these Zealots. So very good upgrade getting that armor first versus a bio army, of course. 1-1 for Marisa too, so the Colossus will benefit from the attack, which is what you need them for. Shields for Marisa, interesting, 1-1-1. Don't see that too often from many Protoss, but very effective, as shields do cover buildings as well as all of your units. And Twilight Council started, so he can continue that tech path. 2 Colossus out, Thermal Lance not complete yet. I think Marisa thinks that he... I don't think he's going to push in, just wants to hold mid-ground there. Midfield, of course. Checking the resource count, dead even, 96 and 97 for the Protoss. Trapt loading up a few Marines and a Marauder. Ooh, droppage. Pretty slow with the load there. Does load it up and get out of there. The Observer saw the whole thing, unfortunately. Warp Prism trying to find another place to drop. Was spotted by Trapt, so he's not going to find anything. No happiness there to get a drop off. Checking back in production, +1 armor for the Terran, so 1-1 for the Terran versus the 1-1-1-1 army of the Protoss. Upgrades very effective, especially Forge upgrades with his all Gateway Colossus build. I really like the upgrades. I saw 3 Kiwi Kaki upgrades in like the 10-minute mark, and it was just amazing. He just shredded his Terran opponent, so I really like that. Here comes the drop from Trapt. He is going to get on. He's going to scan ahead. Does see the robotics. He's going to get a pullback. 3 Colossus out. He doesn't move fast enough. Needs to blow the stim. Trying to snipe one of the Colossus. Get some hull damage on it, and will get one of the Colossus. Does lose quite a bit of the army, though. Will get away, though, I think, as they do load up to the Medivacs. Medivacs, no damage. Very nice. So it gets 1 Colossus, 1 Pylon for basically 1 Medivac worth of units. So interesting trade. I don't think it was the most economic, dropping, obviously, onto the natural or the probe line. Generally a little better. Or if you can snipe a robotics facility or something like the Forge, anything is a little bit more than 1 Colossus, as it can be rebuilt pretty quickly. The Warp Prism has started phasing again, so he will warp in some Dark Templar as the Dark Templar Shrine just finished. Lots of scans saved up, though, so this shouldn't be a problem. The Terran's been a little bit behind in his macro there, of course, as he is the random player. Going to blow a scan, actually, on with a single Marauder. No reinforcements, so not really a good scan there, as those units are going to get there long after the scan runs out, and that Dark Templar will accumulate 7-8 kills. Another one in the main there with 4 kills. He doesn't even notice this one just yet. There you go. 1 scan is cleaned up. 1 Dark Templar is cleaned up. The other is cleaned up as well. So they do get about, I would say, almost 15 SCVs. And there's another Dark Templar. The factory goes down. Not really in use. So that was okay. Reactors under fire. More Dark Templar coming in. Very good job here from Marisa. Very successful. Blows 3 scans. Gets a handful of SCVs as well as the reactors. So yeah, we will try after. Yes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Stream was lagging for a couple of the guys. I think it's just some people. That's fine for me. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the stream. I'll definitely restart it right after this, though, just to try and get that set back up, as Marisa does get his 3rd base started well ahead of the Terran. This Warp Prism being very effective, as he will get in again, and yeah. We'll get a Mule, actually, with the newest Templar. He is checking for that base. The Terran have not expanded. He's really contained the Terran here. Trapt is falling quite a bit behind, and this is the 2nd game for him. If he loses this, he is out. He is pushing, though, pretty strong ahead there. 151-34 food, but a lot of Colossus out. 5 Colossus is a magic number. That is definitely a critical mass of Colossus. They're going to pull back. There goes the Guardian Shield. There goes a cut. Zealots are going to reach the front, and they're forcing, you can see, the Terran army up into a little bit of a ball. They're just being hooked by the front of the Colossus. More Zealots coming in, as they do have leg speed. Obviously, the Medevac's trailing quite a bit behind. Dark Templar warped in there, going to start going to work on the units there of the Terran hero. No real losses there for the Protoss, so this looks like it might be game here for Trapt. He's falling more and more behind. Does blow another scan to try to take on the Dark Templar, but no Colossus have been killed. Trapt good games out, and we'll be right back after this one for, I think, the semifinals, so stay tuned.